France 24's Benedict Pavio is there. Benedict, in the UK, it's now just past 5 o'clock. That's the deadline police have given to protesters to go home, or they've warned they'll enter a different phase.
Indeed, this is the cut-off, the deadline given by police last night to any person intending to protest in central London. You must be off the streets. You must end your protest by now, 5 p.m. The police very much wanting to avoid any clashes, any violence that we witnessed both last Saturday evening and last Sunday evening at the end of the Black Lives Matters, what were very much peaceful protests of thousands of people in central London. So they've warned protesters to be off the streets, or then there will be, so now starting a different phase, a phase of containment, a phase of arrest. But moments ago, there were renewed clashes, that there has been scuffles of what are being called here by the British media counter-protesters. Counter-protesters is a way of describing a mixed bag of different groups of people, people who they say have come to defend the statues in London, uphold what they call democratic rights in the streets of London. They are believed to be from the far right, also from various football club supporters. And moments ago, bottles, cans, flares, smoke bombs were actually thrown once again at the police in Parliament Square, thrown also at horses in Parliament Square. And there really clearly is a real issue and tension down there with that protest going on. Meanwhile, we've also just had 10 minutes ago some scenes in Hyde Park. Many who will know, either from the UK or, of course, abroad, who have visited London, just near Marble Arch in Hyde Park, a group of counter-protesters, it would seem, entered the park, and clearly there are some scuffles going on and some very tense scenes with the police. The police all day trying to keep both some Black Lives Matter supporters, who in fact had their demonstration brought forward by 24 hours, so yesterday, but also some Stop Racism protesters who had been, actually it had been pre-agreed by the police that they would be in Marble Arch and that they would then march in Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square, where there were also some clashes with police.
Now, Benedict, all of this is going on amid a wider context, a wider debate in the country, if you will, about statues that are, some of which have already come down.
Yes, so we had that famous, now world-famous event. Some will say very pleased by, others deplore, and that is the Coulston statue in Bristol last Sunday night that was brought down by protesters, clearly who had planned it, very well equipped, dragged it along the streets, and then threw it into the harbour. Mr. Coulston, who was at the end of his life a philanthropist, but who most of his life actually sold and helped with the slaves being bought, sold, used, abused. And there was huge anger in Bristol because nothing had been done about that statue, although for years there had been attempts at trying to either put a plaque on it, explaining his past. And there is now a real debate across the United Kingdom about statues that should come down. We know that Black Lives Matter has a list of 60 statues they believe should come down. But the other thing that was momentous last weekend was both on Saturday and Sunday, Black Lives Matter supporters put graffiti on Winston Churchill, the eminent, of course, wartime prime minister. His statue faces Parliament. It's now been boxed up late on Friday night. And it is that boxing up of those kinds of statues where it had been graffitied that he was racist that has really offended other people. So there's a live debate about Britain's colonial past, what to do about it, and that should be very much the wishes of the Home Secretary Priti Patel and the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, a democratic, peaceful debate.
All right, Benedict Pavio, keeping us up to date of that ongoing debate in the UK and, of course, those protests that we're seeing in the capital today. For now, thank you.